Welcome to the deep dive. We often talk about pushing ourselves, right? That no pressure, no diamonds idea we touched on recently in 1% Better daily.
That really stuck with people.
It did. And it makes you think, especially if you're really striving in business or coaching or as an athlete, where do the big breakthroughs actually come from?
That's a huge question, and it really brings us straight to what we're digging into today.
Which is?
The Parable of Acres of Diamonds. It's a story Coach Ed Padalecki shares.
So the story goes, there's this farmer, right, in Africa.
And he hears all these stories about people finding fortunes in diamonds, but elsewhere.
So he gets completely convinced, sells his farm, everything.
Sells it all off and goes on this desperate search for diamonds in other places.
And it doesn't go well.
No. Years go by, it's all hardship, and eventually it ends tragically. He dies in despair, penniless.
Such a tough story. But the twist.
That's the kicker. The man who bought the original farm. He's out by a stream one day, finds this interesting-looking stone.
Don't tell me.
It turns out to be a huge diamond. And that farm, the first guy abandoned, sitting right on top of one of the richest diamond mines ever found.
Wow. Just wow. The irony is just crushing.
It really is.
And that's the whole point for you listening today, isn't it?
Exactly. This idea that so often our biggest opportunities for success, for happiness, fulfillment, they're not out there somewhere.
They're closer, much closer than we think.
Right under our feet, potentially, just waiting for us to recognize them, to develop them.
So this isn't just some old story. It's really a critical insight for anyone pushing for that peak performance.
Absolutely vital. Because high performers, people who are really driven, can easily fall into this exact trap.
How so? What does that look like in practice?
Think about it. You see the new thing, the shiny strategy, the different approach, and you assume that's where the next big leap is.
Okay, give me an example. Like for a business owner.
Maybe it's constantly chasing the absolute latest marketing fad, jumping from TikTok to AI influencers to whatever's next, instead of really mastering their core business model, nailing the fundamentals. Or think about a coach. They might keep hopping between different training philosophies, different methodologies.
Without ever getting really, really good at the ones they already know work pretty well.
Precisely. Or the athlete who thinks switching teams or coaches or gyms again is the answer. Always believing there's some magic bullet somewhere else.
It's that allure of the new, the external fix.
And that perceived novelty, that shine, it can blind you to the incredible value you might already possess.
So it's this pull, this narrative that somewhere else holds the key.
Exactly. The grass is greener syndrome, basically.
But okay, isn't there a danger in just looking inwards, like becoming stagnant? How do you balance focusing on what you have with needing to explore new things sometimes?
That's a really important distinction. It's not about never looking outside. It's about first appreciating and exploring the potential right where you are.
Okay.
Like Coach P points out, these big opportunities, these uncut diamonds in your current situation, they don't usually show up looking glamorous. They often look like hard work or challenges, or maybe just like ordinary situations that need real effort, real refinement.
That makes sense. It reminds me of what Coach Padalecki says about parallels in sports psychology.
Absolutely. The true legends, they weren't constantly changing everything up, were they?
No, not really.
Think about Kobe Bryant. His greatness wasn't built on finding a new trick every season.
No, it was the fundamentals, obsessively.
Exactly. His footwork, his shot mechanics, those core skills, he drilled them relentlessly. Or Michael Phelps, when he hit plateaus in his training, what did he do?
Didn't he just double down?
Right. He didn't ditch his coach or demand a completely new training system. He deepened his commitment. He trusted the process, the consistent grinding work, even when it was tough.
So the lesson there is that true excellence often comes from that deep refinement, not constant reinvention.
That's it. That consistent effort, polishing those fundamentals, that's where the breakthroughs usually hide.
Which brings us to the practical side, what Coach Ed Padalecki calls the Audit Your Acres challenge.
Yes. And this is where you, listening right now, need to do some honest reflection.
Okay, so step one, audit. What does that involve?
It means taking a hard look at your current situation. Your business, your team, your skills, your life. What strength, what resources, what potential might you be overlooking?
Just because it's familiar, like it's always been there.
Exactly. What feels routine, maybe even a little boring, but actually holds untapped value? What are you undervaluing just because it's yours?
Okay, so that's the audit. What's next?
Next, Coach P says, mine for diamonds.
Mine for diamonds. I like that.
Once you've audited, identify one specific thing, One untapped opportunity in your work, your training, your relationships, whatever, that you sense has more potential.
Something you haven't really explored fully.
Right. Maybe it's a connection you haven't nurtured, or a skill you started learning but dropped.
Or that business idea you keep putting on the back burner.
Could be any of those. Something specific that has promise but hasn't gotten your real focus.
Okay, so audit, then mine. Identify one thing, then what?
Then, the crucial part. Take action. Today, take one concrete step, however small, to start developing or leveraging that specific opportunity you identified.
Ah, the immediate action part. That's key.
So important.
Yeah.
Don't just think about it. Don't just plan it for next week. Do one tangible thing today.
Like making that call, scheduling that practice session, actually writing down the first page of that idea.
Yes. Something real. Something that moves it forward, even just a tiny bit.
This whole idea, it ties into that Brian Tracy quote Coach P uses, doesn't it?
It really does.
A diamond must be cut, faceted, polished, and set before it looks like the kind of diamond that you see in the jewelry stores.
And the second part is key. Likewise, your acres of diamonds probably lie right under your own feet, but they are usually disguised as hard work.
Disguised as hard work. That says it all, really.
It does. That potential we're looking for. It rarely comes prepackaged and easy.
It demands that cutting, that faceting, that polishing, that effort applied to what we already have.
Precisely. So for everyone listening, especially those of you pushing for that next level, remember that farmer.
Don't sell the farm too early.
Right, the big breakthrough you're seeking. It's very, very likely somewhere within your current world.
Waiting for you to see it.
And waiting for you to put in the work to uncover its brilliance.
So the message is clear before you start looking way out there for the next big thing.
Look closer. Look inward. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope this gives you some food for thought as you continue on your journey.